The show's name is Movie Reviews.
Random ass movie reviews.
Random ass movie reviews with Dennis and Nate. James Bond edition. Spectre review. So this week we're reviewing Spectre, the fourth Daniel Craig Bond movie. Daniel Craig, this could possibly be his last turn as 007. Although he's contracted for a fifth movie, there's been some speculation that he won't be coming back. Either way, whether he does a fifth movie or not, it's time to start looking ahead. Time to start thinking about who the next Bond will be. So Nate and I had put our rankings together side by side, and once again, they were so similar. The top two spots were actually the exact same. Our third one's where we differ. And Nate, so your third choice for the next Bond would be?
Hugh Jackman. I think Hugh Jackman would make a good Bond. He has that Australian accent, which is, obviously different. Bond's not from Australia.
You don't think that would be hindrance? Or
No, I think it would be like kind of a cool thing. Bond has turned into a character where, especially I think that, Daniel Craig showed everyone that Bond doesn't have to be super typecast as the same thing. You could switch it up. You can make him a little different. So, yeah, I think Hugh Jackman would be a little off the wall to pick, and I think that he's getting a little bit older in his career, but he still has that rustic, manly, good-looking kind of look to him. I guess the only downfall would be, like, how many could he be? Like, how many movies could he be in?
Right. So
with every... knows? Like, Daniel Craig's been doing it since 2006. Six?
Casino Royale. Yeah.
Casino Royale. So even, like, that's 9 years right there.
Right.
And maybe he'll do another one. Who knows? So, and you were telling me earlier that there was a physical hindrance on him,
which is why he's considering possibly not coming back for a fifth movie.
So yeah, but what's yours? What's your third?
I'm also gonna go to Australia and choose Joel Edgerton.
Okay.
He's a little bit of a lesser known actor than the other actors on our list, but at the same time, Daniel Craig was when he was cast. I mean. At that point, the only thing I remember seeing him in were Munich and The Jacket.
Yeah,
like sure. And outside of that,
minor roles, sort of no leading roles just yet.
Right. I just think he's a nice under the radar selection.
And they could really, the way Hollywood transforms actors, they could, bulk him up and make him in shape and give him a slick back haircut, and he would probably be a pretty good Bond for sure. So I don't disagree with you on that one at all. So,
yeah, he buffed up for Warrior, so
yeah, sure did.
Right,
absolutely.
And our number 2 consensus pick is Michael Fassbender. He may be one of the more obvious choices, but there's a reason why. The guy's just that good, and he could totally pull it off.
Is he one of the more obvious choices? I really didn't think you would have this on your list. I always found Michael Fassbender, I think he'd be a great Bond, and obviously he was my number 2, but I think I always thought a lot of people looked at him with very sort of synthetic robotic look, and it's maybe because of Prometheus that I think that, but I don't know, can he be, I've never seen him be suave like James Bond.
Right. And then, another reason why it might not be as obvious, he's had a history of villain roles as of late. He has played, the protagonist in movies before, and the lead character. But, he's known for Magneto, the plantation owner in 12 Years a Slave. He's a great villain.
Yeah, he is, for sure.
But I also think that he could, pull this off.
Yeah,
he could be the hero. There are some people who say, there are more handsome actors you could get for the role, but,
Daniel Craig's not that good looking of a dude.
Thank you. I feel like I'm the only one in that opinion.
But he has charm, and he has charisma.
And he has a hard edge, and that's what they were going with that Bond. And that's something they could do with Fassbender, I think.
Yeah. Well, let's get to our number 1.
Yeah, our number 1 consensus pick. A lot of fans have been clamoring for this guy to take the role, and I'm one of them. Nate's one of them.
Totally.
And that is Idris Elba. Now, let's get the elephant out of the room. There's a lot of speculation as to, selecting him because of his race.
Sure.
But I feel like James Bond is a character that he doesn't have to be white, because it's not like his race really plays into anything.
It doesn't.
If there was racial tensions going on in a James Bond movie where it's only a white guy or could experience it like that, then yeah, I can see that point. But with James Bond, no. James Bond can almost be a woman, even.
Yeah, very much so. It's a character that's well traveled from a child, and it's raised in a, the way they did it with the Daniel Craig series, you know, like he's just all over the place. He
Yeah.
could be, you know, just past parents died. You could just create such a history, a backstory of Bond that race should not come into play at all. And that guy's just put him in a tux. He's Bond.
He definitely has a real good screen presence, and you know, and outside of Bond, you know, why not recast actors of different races in these roles? I mean,
Seriously.
like, why not Black Batman?
Why not Black Batman?
Why not Black Spider-Man?
Yeah, which they're thinking about.
Right, exactly. Doing Miles Morales.
Yeah, so that's our number one, and yeah, I was surprised our lists were so similar. But let's get into the review.
Let's do it.
Dennis, get us started.
This James Bond movie is unique in a lot of ways. First of all, Sam Mendes came back to direct. It's the first time a director came back and did back-to-back Bonds.
Sure. Yeah.
Martin Campbell did GoldenEye and Casino Royale, but those are 10 years apart with two different actors.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was unique, and I feel that as to the franchise, that was a strength, bringing Sam Mendes back. I feel as the film, that was a little bit of a hindrance, because I couldn't help but compare it to Skyfall just based on that, and
Totally.
Skyfall, like, really knocked my socks off. That's my favorite Bond movie of all time. And also, a lot of unique things about this one. Monica Bellucci, first Bond girl over 40, and she's actually 50 when they shot this.
Yeah.
And also, it's the first one to have like a whole continuity to an actor's franchise. It reflects back on all three prior movies.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was a good thing about it too.
Yeah.
And overall, I enjoyed this movie. It's a great time at the movies. You know, go see it with a friend, go see it with a date, family member, whoever. And yeah, Nate, what do you think?
I was pleasantly surprised by Spectre. I don't know why I was kind of a naysayer on it, but I just wasn't that excited about it. But then again, I wasn't that excited about Skyfall. When I saw it, it knocked my socks off as well. I was like, that was a fantastic movie. Not just Bond movie, that was just a great, great film. So this time, for some reason, I just wasn't as excited. So I was pleasantly surprised going into it. I think you're right about Sam Mendes hindering a little bit on the... you know, they could have got someone to change the style a little bit. It was heavy on Skyfall, kind of. He's just it forced you to compare almost.
It built off it, and you know, and it's just that it feels like, you know, Skyfall-ish in the execution of it, but like it's just like, you know, I don't think Christoph Waltz was as good as Javier Bardem. I don't think the story this time around was as good as it was in Skyfall.
Right.
I mean, I'm not dogging this movie for a second. It's a great action movie, but as far as a Bond movie, it's really good.
It's good.
Really good.
I do have gripes. There are some gripes, and
okay.
I mean, the biggest gripe for me is the length. It's too long.
Yeah, just 2.5 hours.
There was even scenes where the scene ended, and I was like, they could have shaved off 5 minutes from that. It didn't seem to flow as well as it could. There was lull times where I was like, okay, and then it starts picking up again. I'm like, okay, this is good. Like, and then it starts going for a lull. And honestly, I mean, there are no spoilers here, but like, I thought it ended, and then it kept going.
Yeah.
And I was like, another set piece, another scene, which is great. I get it, but it just seemed to go on and on for me.
Right. And I gotta say, my favorite part of the movie, not to say that the rest of the movie was crap, but my favorite part was the opening shot.
Yes.
This beautiful long take tracking shot from, you know, a street showing off a parade, following Bond through this hotel room off to this rooftop where he's gonna take out his targets.
It was so well shot and so cool to watch. It was such a great opening, and I'm glad they put that at the beginning. I was hooked.
Yeah.
It hooked me. If they would have shown something that amazing at the end, I would have been exhausted to even like appreciate what it was.
Right.
So it was good they put it at the beginning.
Yeah, it was one of those great, like, how they do that.
Yeah.
Long takes.
Yeah, and just the locations, all of it. It's a great movie. But yeah, there was just some lull moments in there, and Christoph Waltz, he's always good to me. I mean, I really hope he doesn't hit the one-trick pony kind of actor where he sort of seems the same, but I thought he could be. They could have gave him more time.
I don't think that Christoph Waltz did a bad job. It's just that, you know, like, I'll just say that Javier Bardem set a really high bar.
Yeah.
With his turn as Silva and Skyfall. And also, another gripe about this one, I didn't mind her acting or her character, but her character's role in the story, Lea Seydoux, who's the new Bond girl. I feel like Bond girls are usually either the damsel in distress or the kick-ass sidekick, and she wasn't really either one of them. There's never like any part. I mean, yes, in the end, like there was a bomb hooked up to her that she had to be saved.
Yeah.
But it was just a little unbalanced. Sometimes she was the sidekick. Sometimes she was the damsel in distress.
For sure. And they didn't really. They dove a little bit into where she came from and how much she knows about combat, guns, things like that.
Right.
But you never really know. And when she gets in the situations, she handles them, but not in like a confident way. Having said that, though, I like that Dave Bautista was in this. I thought he was cool because he was a force against Bond. Bond had to use his wits, and like Bond just can't kick this guy's ass.
No.
He's too humongous of a man. So Bond has to figure out how to defeat this giant henchman. So I really liked his character a lot. I like that there was no dialogue either.
Yeah. The one word and
he didn't. Yeah, he didn't need it. And it's funny because when you hear his one word, I'm like, he didn't say anything until that word. Like I just realized, I was like, he didn't say a word. Yeah. So all in all, I enjoyed it. I'm glad I saw it. It was a good pick. But let's get into what would you what's your score?
As I said, I can't help but compare it to Skyfall, so I'm going to have to give this 7 out of 10 martinis.
All right. Well, I am with you. We agree on that completely. I also give it 7 gouged eyes.
That scene.
Great scene. So, yeah. Well, then there you have it. There's our review. So let's get into the recommendations for this week.
This one, I was surprised to hear that, Nate, you had actually already seen it. It's kind of got a cult following. It's on Netflix. It's only 32 minutes. You can burn through it really fast, but it's called Kung Fury. It's a great, spoof of cheesy 80 action. It's just most ridiculous characters, set pieces, dialogue. Just, if you love those cheesy 80 action movies, you got to watch this one. It's an incredible homage/satire to them.
And on top of your recommendation, also if you go on YouTube, there's a full original music video from David Hasselhoff singing the song, the theme song to Kung Fury. It is fantastic. So definitely a great recommendation. It's on Netflix, surprisingly.
Yeah,
it's a half hour long. It's a quick watch.
Yeah.
Good one.
Nate, what do you got for your
This week I'm going to do The Last Shift, which is also on Netflix, and it's a horror movie.
On there.
Yeah, and it's a horror movie. Don't be fooled by the cover of it. It's got this weird, grotesque sort of Satan star on a person's face, and it's kind of gross. But actually, this is a really well-played, low-budget horror movie that utilizes its budget perfectly by setting the stage for the plot very easily. It's believable. The acting's good.
So that's it for our review of Spectre. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check the links below for links to our full written reviews. And in the comments, did you see Spectre? What'd you think about it? And who do you want to play the next James Bond? Be sure to comment below.
Yeah, and join us next time. We're going to be reviewing the new holiday comedy, The Night Before. That'll be the next week's show.
Thanks, guys.
See you later.
Random ass movie reviews with Dennis and Nate.